The bait in danger. The bait in danger.
William Gilbert? Is he the bait?
Yes.
Paul, wait. How can she know what's happening? And how can you act on that intel immediately? She's been, as far as we know, unconscious or dead for months.
I think I would like to stay, if I can. At least for the night.
You can, but not by yourself. I'm sure you understand.
Okay, whatever. Just think she shouldn't be alone.
I can only hope, Ellis, that when she's awakes, she appreciates what you're doing for her and doesn't, I don't know, try and kill us all. Much like the reaction has been to others with this condition.
Should we just bag him?
Make it happen. Make sure he sees and knows nothing.
He will be here within 60 minutes.
Should I let Gabrielle Ellis stay with this experiment for the night? It is her wish.
Are you asking me that? Paul.
I'm asking you. I have ignored your advice.
Paul, no, Paul, no.
This is Red Moon role-playing.
Family is probably the last thing on William Gilbert's mind as the door shuts with a damp, deep thud. Get me out of here! What the fuck are you doing, coppers? What are you holding me for? Please, you gotta say something! Hello? Is there anybody there? Who the fuck are you people? Stepping into a strange person's room is always a weird experience. Nothing has been touched in the 14 Ruskin Walk 2-floor loft apartment. It's an airy, lightly pastel-colored place. The flower decorations, the meticulously cared-for orchids, the collection of leather shoes, all indicate someone with an income in the upper brackets and quite impeccable taste in home decoration. Very modern. Not sure you like it, Paul, but it's there. It's not at all the messy home you would expect from someone you have just dragged off the street with possession of drugs. There is a small bedroom, almost entirely filled with a bed. The kitchen, spotless. The only thing that shows that something is a bit off is the number of fast food cartons from a close-by Vietnamese place that are piling up in the living room in front of the probably quite expensive new flat screen TV. The light buzzes a little bit as it turns on and reveals all the corners. Light shines through shutters that have been drawn. Somebody did not want anyone to look in or maybe out. It's absolutely silent. The early morning hours, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, means most working people are gone. Someone, a child, somewhere else in the apartment building is crying. Well, that's the only sound that is heard.
I stifle a yawn as I stand there. The door closes behind me as Francis comes in as well. I look over at him. It looks almost like a temporary living. I start moving in.
I take a sip of coffee, which causes me to wince a little as I hate coffee. And I glance around, remarking, well, I'll do an investigation as best I can. I'm not entirely sure what we'll find. Maybe there'll be something useful. I can't say my attention is focused on this sort of thing right now, if I'm honest. I sort of chuckle a little at you.
And I grunt sort of acquiescingly, and I go into the living room and look a little extra at all these cartons of fast food spread out there.
Looks like something like maybe 8 meals. So's been here possibly 2 days if they haven't gone out at all. It's hard. There's only one set of chopsticks. The other ones are in their wrapping. There's only one open set.
I want to know where he rents this place from. If this is a temporary arrangement or if he has been here a while. Because to me this looks like it's just someone who has moved in to do something, not planning to stay.
It does have the feeling of being a bit too minimal and a bit, not so many personal items, at least not on the surface. It could just be the blandness of the decoration. Tasteful, don't get me wrong. The whomever decided the color scheme with being in agreement with your wife at least.
It doesn't match. The idea of it being so perfectly looked after and then this sloppiness.
No, there's a definite contrast there. Also, as you inspect the cartons, you see that on the sides of the coffee table there are a couple of shelves with books, mostly art books from the look of things. Almost exclusively quite stylish fashion photography. Mostly male fashion.
Fashion books. Any photos? Anything? Any relatives? Anything pointing at something that speaks of a personal life?
Not in here, at least. What is personal life? Yeah. Start opening a few closets. There's some knickknacks. There's a DVD player that's been disconnected, probably not in use at the time, older model. There's no computer, no signs that anyone has been working from here. The plants, however, there are orchids here. That means somebody has to have cared for them quite often. It's not a common thing to have orchids in a temporary rent apartment because of the long time care and attention they require to not die. Just a few hours of absence or negligence means that a few of the beautiful, weirdly shaped tropical flowers are sagging somehow, like they were thirsty.
I will turn my investigations to any sleeping area or bedroom, investigating cupboards there, and also checking skirtings and floorboards with a little pen just to do a few cursory taps just to see if there's anything hidden.
Floorboards? No, it seems these hardwood floors have been installed probably a year ago or something. They're still absolutely fresh, and it seems to be good workmanship. There are not like in an old house where you could hide the board that is lifted up and so on. The lacquering, the light-colored lacquering on the floor is untouched. The mattress is very good quality, tempera foam. It's an expensive bed, double-sized. It has satin sheets. The lighting here is steerable through a little light regulator. There's a slight acrid smell in the air.
That draws my attention a little. I'll start smelling the air. Can I detect where the smell comes from?
Is there any... You try smell your way around the living room. perhaps a wits plus science to identify the smell, if it is some sort of compound that you recognize.
So wits and science, right? Three successes.
It's something. Is the alcohol? No, not really. It's, you can't identify the smell. Not offhand. It's nothing you have in your lab. You're sure about that. And that rules out some things. It almost smells like extremely concentrated sweat now that I think about it. It sticks. Some sort of nitrate. Some sort of nitrate. Of some kind. Maybe.
Paul, can you smell something a little strange?
What's that? And I come over into your room.
Oh, there's a clear smell in here. Yep, definitely a clear smell in here.
There's something. What is that?
It's not entirely unpleasant, but it sort of jabs your nostrils a little.
Okay. It's not bomb related, is it? Or
No, I don't believe so. Possibly chemical in nature. It's almost like sweat, but not quite. It's...
Paul, how about a streetwise plus wits?
I'm better with technology, but
This technology will not help you here.
right. I get 2 successes.
You know you smelled this before. Yeah, you smelled this in blue vision. Yes, you're quite certain.
Yes, I do smell it. I think.
It's much stronger in the bedroom than anywhere else in the apartment.
And I look around. Are there any compartments or anything in here?
Yeah, there's the bed. Under the bed, there's a number of compartments. There's a walk-in closet to the left. A couple of drawers. Nothing special, really. A couple of training bags under the bed.
We should probably be careful with what we touch here. And I feel like a sort of sting of adrenaline going off. And I start approaching the walk-in closet.
The smell is slightly stronger here, you think? Maybe it's time for gloves.
Yeah. I do snap out a pair of gloves from my pocket. And I look at Francis and I say, it could be in here.
Cautious.
Yeah. And I take the handle and I very carefully open this walk-in closet.
If he lives here temporarily, he sure did bring a lot of clothes. Impressive. That suit, you would wear that in a minute. Maybe to a dinner or something. But most of the gear is in the expensive sportswear department, even if there are a couple of suits. Also, further back, this is where the smell gets stronger and stronger. In the back, there's hung a latex hoodie. It looks like latex pants, tall boots with thick soles, clubwear, plastic and rubber. And they have that smell. Even though this is not really the source of the smell, it's definitely here. It's actually stronger near the bed outside.
This could be something he uses to clean the stuff with. I don't know. Might need some extra attention. And I turn back. Francis, I think it was stronger out by the bed.
I nod, and I'll go to the bed area again. This time, just beginning to look underneath the sheets, check the mattress.
Oh, there it is. There's a stain there, and it smells vile, or at least there's almost as their eyes tear up.
I'm going to withdraw a little, wrinkle my nose a little, make sure my gloves are on, and then reach into my pocket for a few little chemistry tests I brought with me. Simple things you can carry in a little kit, including some pH strips and test tubes, vials, that sort of thing, just to do a little quick analysis, see if I can get anything off a quick dab. I will dab the area with a cotton bud, put it in something, go out, leave the room to sort of apply some water, some chemicals, just see if I can get anything from an off-the-cuff, quick examination.
Yeah, it's the sound of the ripping of Velcro as you open little test tube things and set up, I guess, somewhere in the living room. It's gonna take maybe 5 minutes or something to get answers requiring your full attention. While he's doing that, Paul, how do you continue?
I watch him take the sample and maybe rip a bit of that material off, bringing it out into the living room.
It's wet, so yeah, the stain is under the pillow. And there's a wet stain there. It's almost evaporated, but the smell is still there. It's not very wet anymore. It must be somehow, yeah, and this you have figured out a long time ago, Francis. It has a strong alcohol content, but that is not the active compound that smells. My question is, how did the stain get there?
Strange. Yeah, I do look at that, and I look above in the ceiling. Did it come from above? Did it drop down somehow?
Oh, wait a minute. There's a roof above the bed, about 1.5 meters lower than ceiling height. On top of there is stored various knickknacks and bags and so on, but under it there are cuttings, probably his favorite images from fashion magazines, maybe inspirational images to awaken to. It's some male faces, eyes glazed, pretty man. Nice fashion. You recognize some of the brands from the cupboard. And there, something jammed under the side of the construction, like above a board, a little piece of plastic, maybe corner of a plastic bag.
I talk out to Francis, who's in the living room. I think there's been dispensed somehow from above the bed. There might be a container of more of it here in case you want to take some in.
As he's saying this, and I'm waiting for my little test, the 5-10 minutes it takes for the strips to turn colour, I'll look up. Does this flat look like it has any attic or crawl space or anything like that?
No, not that. And whatever it is that has dripped down on the bed in the pillow region, it comes from that, the bed ceiling, not the actual ceiling. So it's a covered bed with a large 4-pillar bed square. So it comes from, certainly it comes from up there in the corner close to, right above the pillow.
Or if you want to get a chair or something, it might be worth you having a look up there, see if you can see anything in the ceiling of the bed itself, or even above the bed.
Yeah, I'll do that. And look around. Is there a workspace in here, or is it just mainly the bed taking up the whole?
There's just a bed. In here, there's a bed, and there's an area right in front of the walk-in closet, where you have a couple of drawers. There's plenty of cologne and some makeup kits and fashion accessories. And there also, there's a number of cut out photos that have been collected in a binder. Images from fashion shoots, most of them slightly half nude, and there is no doubt that the subject in the pictures is William Gilberts himself.
Oh.
The man you now have somewhere screaming in one of your deep dark rooms. He looks to be about 20, maybe 25, it's hard to know. He's ripped, he's tan, blonde, but various shades of hair coloring. The hair length varies between shoulder length to more conservative crop cuts. His intense blue eyes stare back at you. These images seem to go back over years. You can clearly see a younger man in some of the pictures. There he is photographed against the dockside and an industrial area of some kind. Looks like up north, maybe. The more recent ones are posher and they seem to be in more club environments. An outdoor shoot by the eye. Yeah, he's moved up career-wise, it seems, the last few years. And the results when the sticks starts to color is quite clear. It only requires a quick cross-check, and this is amyl nitrate, butyl nitrate mix, and alcohol also. This is what is colloquially known as poppers, a inhalable drug that gives a temporary feeling of exaltation. We don't have much knowledge about it, but it's there in the register as as quite a common one.
I do believe I would know enough that this is the sort of drug that's normally consumed from little metal capsules, yes, that people like to then litter the streets with often. In certain parts of London, anyway.
Yes, they're about usually in like 10 milliliter bottles, metal with some colorful logo on them.
Certainly. I will mention this to Paul. Drugs. Poppers, to be precise, nothing too heavy, not necessarily legal or illegal, but in an iffy area. But drug use, to be honest, I was expecting something like that.
And I snapped the binder of photos closed, and I put it in a sort of pile that I'm going to take with things that I want to bring with me from there. And I go over to the bed and I look at that plastic bag again, so this might not be more than a stash then. I'll see if I can get it out from there.
Yeah. You're standing on tiptoe on the bed, you manage to pull it out, it drips a little bit, and yep, it's been broken through on the side by the shards of one of these hard plastic poppers bottles that have been crushed. Probably as somebody shoved the stash up into the ceiling. This looks like somebody tried to hide it in a panic. It's not the only thing, but the rest of the contents of the bag are maybe intentionally a soggy mush of like pills, and there's a few bags of powders that have half dissolved into the popper fluid. So it's going to be hard knowing exactly what was in there, but it was a substantial amount. It weighs about maybe 20 grams, 20-30 grams. Yeah. It would weigh without the liquid, which makes it heavier, but it's a slosh of drugs. Yeah, the pink of some pills have leaked into the whitish sludgy thing. God knows what's in there.
High society, party animal, fashion model. Seems he's been rising up through his career. Nothing more than that from what I have here.
Well, it's something to at least hold over him for possible future interrogation. I suppose my only interest is wondering, did he achieve this success on his own merits? Or has someone, or some people even, been suddenly giving him a lot of money?
I go over to the binder again, and I look inside it as I put down the bag of drugs. next to it. Does it have his name on any of the pictures? Does it call him by this name? Is that this William Gilberts?
The ones that have this one where he wears a necklace with which says Willie in diamond and gold on his chest. Yeah, he's really fucking impressive pectorals. Offset it quite nicely. Shit, this guy is better trained than you are, Paul. The name Willie seems to pop up as an artist name. Sometimes in a byline when it's been cut from a fashion magazine, and often, almost in every case, there is the photographer's name or the publication's name printed on the photograph. So it's a variety of publications. Some of them, GQ, that's a pretty big one, yeah.
So he's a quite public profile then, this guy.
Question is, how many male fashion models would you actually know? There's a lot of them. So maybe not. Some of them are from gay magazines, clearly.
Yeah, more an anonymous face than perhaps, but doing well for himself.
Seems so. At least the last few years. I mean, it goes from, more or less hobby photography without any big names attached to it at all. To, the biggest one is GQ. But that was just 2 months ago, it seems. So that must be the last issue, next to last or something.
Any other compartments here? Boxes under the bed?
Yep, boxes of shoes under the bed. There's a couple of training bags. It's most of it is. It looks like he has lived here for a while. He is exceptionally orderly. It seems like he has perfectly sorted every single clothing item. It all kind of makes sense seeing the photography. This is a connoisseur of fashion, and it dominates the apartment.
And yet, taking all that into account, I just sort of return to Paul's side. Strikes me very strange that someone who's so ordered has no address book or place he keeps his letters or anything. There must be something. I start skimming through things. If it doesn't have a name or address on it, I just toss it aside. I'm looking specifically for something that could have a name or phone numbers or anything like that.
You could toss the place and probably have it top to bottom searched in an hour. And that would reveal almost everything. It would be apparent that you had searched the place, though. It is fully possible. Is that what you want to do? Toss the place?
I will pause and sort of look at Paul as if waiting to see if he agrees with that course of action.
Well, it's hardly as if he's unaware of us being onto him. We'll just, see whatever you can find. And I start looking around as well.
Yep. Starting with the bedroom, you start doing the routine. Shoving things out on the floor, looking at them, just turning a piece of clothing upside down, ripping things out of boxes. Probably not damaging anything too much, and I wonder if it will miss this shirt. Holy crap. Look at the collar on that one. Nice. It becomes a routine motion, but in the end you have a life lying there in front of you. In clothes that are close to the bed, on a rack. One of them has a little note. It just has a quite nicely hand-painted heart and a small greeting in a very steady, schooled and proper handwriting. It just says, "I miss you, my lovey Willie." And the thing is signed with just 3 letters, N-A-T, Nat. A postcard from Venice. Also with greetings of message and affection. Also Nat. In a dumpster, you find 4 more. Little scribbled greetings from Nat on flyers advertising all-night hot action bars and similar. One on a napkin. They've been torn to shreds. Apparently not welcomed.
After the intensive hour of searching, coming to the end, I feel I will say to Paul, well, seems to me Nat is at least a name, something to go off on, at least. No?
Yeah, a model who has a superphone, yes. But there's no storage of information or anything. No computers, no sign of computers being used.
None.
This guy is keeping a very clean house. Except for the cartons being laid out, the food.
Not to mention the stash. My gut here, Paul, suggests a man who, despite being very clean, does have his foibles. And yet, why be so clean in other areas? Or maybe because he's involved in something and it's far more important for that something to be kept quiet than it is to put away his food boxes, if you know what I mean. Just a hunch, of course.
Something recent. Something recent then, perhaps. Just a recent development. It's strange, though, that everything else is being kept so clean. I guess this is all we get for now. We'll just have to see what we can formulate to create an interrogation based on this.
Certainly, I'll run my things with the lab just in case. But yes, I think you're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, Paul. Still, I think you have something. A few leads, if you will, to grill the suspect. I'm kind of smiling a little, which I feel Paul would know is almost me being humorous, which is probably only happening because I'm very tired.
I see that in your face. And, I bring the, binder with me. We bring the, drugs. Anything else?
Binder, drugs, notes. Yes.
The things from Nat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's take on those as well.
And drugs. Yeah, it's not a big haul and far less than you expect in a lived-in place. But there it is. Somebody knows how to be anonymous.
Yeah. The walk-in closet speaks of a man who is living a real life here, as does all the bags under the beds and so. Oh, and I stifle another yawn. Let's be on our way then. Let's see if there's anything in his phone.
I nod and make my way to the car.
Let's get back and get whatever rest we can before she wakes up.
This side of the road has this newly refurbished condo apartment building that is 14 Ruskin Walk on it. On the opposite side, we have something like 6 Ruskin Walk or something. It's considerably less cleaned up. There's the facade is grey. It rises 7 stories high. An anonymous apartment tower. You think as you step outside that you can see curious eyes following you from windows. It's hard to see since it's daylight and it glares in the windows. But you're almost certain to see one window being shut on the 3rd floor as you exit near the car. You have been observed.
I glance up at it. Can I, from seeing the street and the number there, can I figure out what apartment that is?
Probably could. Yeah, but it's hard to know. Was it? Wait, there's another window that's open. Oh, it's shutting too. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, you. Somebody has observed you. Maybe several people. This is probably not unusual. I mean,
Yeah.
someone's curious about this. Maybe.
Maybe not, I'm thinking to myself.
Yes, maybe standard protocol in these parts to gawk out the window when well-dressed men come calling to an address where usually no one shows up.
What kind of area is this?
This is on the it's on the boundary line between a gentrified part of Croydon that is closer to a gallery, a couple of community centers, and a mosque on the right side. Which is this part has been fairly cleaned up. On the other side, the apartment tower area begins. It's a far less cleaned up area, and the people are moving around, or seem to be of a very mixed descent and origin. Whereas the other part, the names that you've seen on the apartment building were mostly British names on this side, not so much on the other side, you guess. You're exactly on the cusp between a harder area, so to speak, and a place you would easily let your kids play.
Very nice.
Yeah. It can't be cheap to have an apartment in that place.
No.
And probably seeing from the... you see there are some for sale signs and a couple of villas further down the streets. And you see a big sign on the side of one of the buildings on the other street. It says condemned to be torn down in 2010. So yeah, the other side is probably looking to be repurposed as more expensive housing as well.
The up-and-coming part of Croydon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back. I'm not sure you saw that, but someone was looking out for their neighbor.
Doesn't surprise me, Paul. At this point, safe to assume that we're being watched all the time when we're out. I sort of smile at this.
Yep.
You enter the car finding a couple of messages from Kitawara. Just came in a couple of minutes ago. They say, "You better get here. He will not be quiet. He's not taking this well."
Ah. Well, not like we have any other place to go. And I start the engine and get rolling back towards our setup.
Hitting the bigger highways, you make good speed out towards the Heathrow direction. Soon London is behind you. The suburbs mix with wild, vague areas of bush growth under underpasses and faceless, strange factory buildings, abandoned or not. And soon enough, you start coming up on HQ. The large fence, the box-like buildings. It's weird feeling that this is home. And when the automatic gate closes behind you, when the rattle, almost feel a sigh of relief emanating from you. A short-lived one, because you can hear the noise from the yard. That was a crash. That was glass. And then a muffled scream.
Shit. I smack the door closed and I start jogging up to the building.
Jog up with the clearance, press the key code. Inside, you see one of the Marines running down the stair. Who the fuck gave him a coffee cup? That was not a good idea. And you come down into the lower areas of the HQ. We have your conference room, the makeshift holding cells, the setup interrogation room. Yeah, it has a small glass window through the thick door, but somehow he's managed to crack it. Yeah, he's cracked it from the inside. And there he is. Cold, big eyes staring out at you with a sneer on his mouth. Quiet, even though there's blood dripping from his hand as he bangs it on the rattling glass. Come on! What do you want? I see you! What do you want? Why am I here?
William, please.
I have rights!
William, please calm down. You've been taken from your home not because we have suspicions against you, but for your own safety. Please calm down.
Oh, I'm calm. Look, I'm just trying to get anyone's attention. I haven't been told anything. There was a bag over my head. I didn't really count the hours, but I guess I'm somewhere 2-3 hours outside of town. I have been nabbed before, but this is not standard practice. Who are you?
Sit down, please. We'll come in and join you.
Could you please bring some water with you? I'm parched.
Of course. Let's get this guy some water, I say, to the Marine that has been running down the stairs.
Sparkling if you have it.
And might you consider not throwing this one on the floor?
Oh, I mean, now you're all here, and we can have a polite conversation, right?
I, having made my way a little slower behind Paul, probably very caught up now, will frown a little, and I'll just sort of start to leave the room, thinking to myself, what time of day is it?
Should be noon, somewhere around noon, maybe a bit after. Yeah, it's 1:30.
Might be worth trying to get Ellis.
She's been under for at least 5-6 hours now, yeah.
Well, I'm tired, but I'm going to try and make my way to Ellis's cell, thinking, shit, if this guy wants to talk now, it might be better that she's present to assist Paul better than me. So I'll go and make my way and see if I can find her.
Where are you, Ellis?
I think I am asleep, and I think I am asleep in the bathroom if the bathroom doesn't have a window.
It does not have a window, and you can draw the shower curtain. It's a thick, proper plastic curtain, so it blocks out light perfectly.
Yeah. It's weird because the sleep is so heavy, so I don't really mind the surface. I don't need a bed. I just need it to be safe and no windows. Is my feeling.
Yeah, so Francis, you don't spot her from the window into the cell.
But I would assume she's in there. I'll nod to one of the guards nearby for access. Get the door open. And just enter. Look around slowly. Look to, I assume, the bathroom. And just say, well, I hope this works. Ellis? Ellis!
A big guy with a slightly musky body odor, Alex, you think his name was, he's right behind you. He frowns and just looks over the room. Doesn't seem to find any traces. He doesn't have the gun in his hand or anything like that, but he stays outside in the sleeping area of the cell, keeping an eye on you as you find her behind the shower curtain.
It's weird because when you go into a room where someone is sleeping or like don't make sounds, but you can still feel that there's someone in there. I don't know, it's a presence, but I guess that this feeling isn't there. She is there, but it's like it's a dead body.
Yeah, it's more a thing than a person curled up there.
Certainly unsettling, but I feel I need to wake her up. I look around, I say to the guard, "Where's her allocation for the day? Should have been delivered by now."
Yeah, he's got it on the cart outside. There's a cool cart outside. Shall I bring it?
Yes.
He shuffles away to bring a cooling bag. Has a telltale sloshing sound of blood in plastic bags.
I shall take one of the plastic bags. I feel very silly for a moment, almost thinking of my mother telling me something about one of her dogs, when she had a very unruly dog one time who really wouldn't come out unless you shook their food bag. This feels ridiculous in context, but I suppose it's another scientific discovery. I'm going to slowly enter that bathroom. Keep a distance when I see Ellis there. Strange how she desires to be in an enclosed space. That's interesting. Is there security in an enclosed area? I'm going to take the blood bag, and I'm just going to try my best just to throw it onto her person and see if that gains any reaction.
Does this wake you up? Yeah, that is the question, yeah. It's daytime. The enemy of the virus in your blood, or whatever that keening voice shall be called. This is a humanity roll to get you up on your feet. It's not going to be terribly hard because of your special condition, but still, roll humanity.
Should I include hunger die?
You should.
4.
The question is whether it's the presence of a friend, the noise, or the very faint but still enticing smell that wakes you up. Probably it's a bit of both. But there you are. Eyes open. Like, it's not like waking up, it's more like turning on a light after having been in absolute darkness. You can't remember any dreams. No real repose, no real rest. 1 minute you're gone, and the next you're here. You see the Frances, you see her chest starting to lift as she is visibly pulling in air, pushing it out, pulling in air, pushing it out, and there pop the eyes open.
I think to myself how fascinating it is that it almost seems as if, for a moment, she truly was dead, and then the sudden reanimation. Is it the blood stimulus, or is it something else? Suffice to say, as I see her eyes open, I will just take a few steps back and say, "Morning."
I also want to roll for Blush of Life.
Yeah, you feel cold. It's not a pleasant feeling. It needs to stop.
I get hungrier.
Boom, boom,
Good morning.
boom, 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 boom.
How are we feeling? I imagine you could have had more rest.
It's weird because when I wake up, I am breathing. But in the dim light of this place, like the features are grey, but then slowly it kind of blooms out. And like in a couple of seconds, I look more human. But also with some kind of glint in my eyes. I don't look at the blood bag. I look at you. And kind of also a second where I seem to kind of compose myself. And maybe even trying to pretend or act like I am the same as I always am. Like there's a also a security in that, to kind of become the one you expect me to be.
Yeah, the transformation is a bit unnerving, from forced, regular, deep, almost meditative breathing, like the first 3 breaths, into normal, shallow breathing, first a little bit fast, then lowering itself and achieving normalcy. Same thing with skin coloration, eye movements. Fuck, you can almost bet that her eyes grow wetter as you look into them.
Truly fascinating, I think to myself. I really wish soon I can get a stage 2, because I'm curious, does this continue? Is this part of the condition to be able to emulate signs of normal life so easily? Or is it something else? I don't have time to think of that, though. I clear my throat. Ellis, I'm afraid we don't have much time for small talk. The suspect, a Mr. William Gilbert, is already in custody. We've begun an initial assessment of them, but fortunately they have proven to be a little uncooperative, and Paul is having to speak to them right now. I thought, as normally you like to be the lead and he follows, or sometimes you switch it round, I thought it would be best if you were at least present.
Sure. Did you bring something?
I point to her chest and say, yes.
Oh,
Did you not notice that immediately? Was that not what woke you?
yes, of course I did. It's clearly a lie. I take up the blood bag and starts taking it to my mouth, and then I look at you. Some privacy, please.
Of course.
Yeah, the guard also backs out of the room, averts his gaze. He stays just outside the door, though.
I turn my back as I quickly begin just relaying some details, basically all the details of the investigation we've uncovered so far, model, possible love, interest, or possible fan, very clean, tidy, very unhappy to be here, and then I'll simply say, Interrogation room 1, I'll hopefully see you in 10 minutes, yes?
Yes. Francis?
I don't turn to face you, but I just say yes.
You should get some sleep. You look dreadful.
I imagine I do. Yes, I think I'll do that.
I take the bag and very carefully tries to eat it somewhat civilized. Not like an animal. Although I'm hungry.
The receptacle itself is not really made for drinking, but there is a little screw cork.
Jesus.
It requires a bit of dexterous fumbling, but you manage to get it off, and you could almost imagine that it's one of these smoothie packages you get at all-night open shops or at airports. Almost the same shape. I only wish it wasn't see-through. But close enough. Breakfast is served.
I drink it all. Can I cross out one hunger?
You can.
Then I will be down at 1. And then I look at myself in the mirror. Am I presentable? Or do I have to change clothes? Like, it's hard to remember all the procedures when you don't sleep in a bed and you don't function like a human. So I'm looking down at my clothes and like, when did I change clothes the last time?
Yeah, there's no smell of sweat, and that is of course confusing, but they do look a bit crumply. Yeah, there's a little stain there. Yeah, it must be days since you changed. Presentable is a bit pushing it, but it's okay.
Do I have any clean clothes here?
Have you brought an extra overnight bag? I would assume you have.
Sure. I take out a clean t-shirt and a hoodie. Never was much for. I'm not a suit cop like Paul. And then I take my leather jacket that I always wear and go to interrogation room 1. And when I go there, I try to kind of feel, because it's so weird when I should be asleep right now, right?
You should.
And I don't feel human, and it's freaking me out a bit. So I'm when I walk towards that room, I'm trying to kind of put that dress on, put that human costume on, and be like, okay, pull it together. Fuck, okay, you can do this.
It's hardest to get it properly fitting, so to speak, as you cross on this upper level, because there's a passage that you need to pass which has bright sunlight coming in from 2 cross windows, and it just goes slap diagonally all across the stairwell.
Oh shit.
The soft, nice, dark stairwell into the non-windowed interrogation rooms and shit. It's just 10 meters there, but it feels like it's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah. I look at the sun, the patches of light before me, and I take a human breath and just like, yes, I remember I should do that all the time. And then I kind of steel myself. I know it won't hurt me. I won't go into flames like the motorcycle guy, but it's still unpleasant. And then I kind of channel this, I don't know, professional thought of I won't run through this. I will walk like a person. I told them that I am the same person, and I also have to prove that, and I'm gonna walk normally.
With the eyes of Alex, the incredulous Royal Marine, boring into your back, you walk, not run, through the sunlight.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Ericsson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder. The music was created by Lola Zaza, and the sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org and Sirenscape. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, and Julia for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, death is not the end.